Hello, everybody. My name is Hunter. Welcome back to Hunter Talks to People. This will be episode 2. Last episode, we got to talk to Carter Wilkerson. He was the quote unquote chicken nuggets kid. A few years back, he quoted or tweeted at Wendy's for free chicken nuggets for a year, became the most popular tweet tweeted by an American in Twitter history still to this day. And yes, he did get his chicken nuggets. If you want to listen to that, that's going to be down the link below, and it will be on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts and Spotify by the time this episode comes out. With that being said, today is episode 2, where I am honored to be spending this time with Justin DeJesus. Justin is not only a close personal friend of mine, but up-and-coming streamer and, Justin, maybe TikToker and maybe internet personality. So, Justin, thank you for taking your time to do this, and welcome to the show.
I am excited.
All right. So, Justin, can you just briefly tell us what you've been up to lately? Obviously, I know that you stream, but tell the people what you're about and what you've been working on.
Um, so lately I've been an Apex streamer. I don't know why, but I've been getting into the game, so that's been my past month. I have been getting into TikTok. 2022, I'm posting daily content on TikTok and I haven't broken it yet. Almost
Okay,
did today, but I posted one right before we came on. So,
perfect. So you're 11 days deep and no stopping. It's actually pretty good. I mean, I think the normal thing is like a 3-day hump, and if you can get over that,
yeah.
then you're probably in the clear. Um, Speaking of TikTok, this show, when I was before started recording this, I figured that TikTok would be the best way to promote this show because I have posted the first episode to Facebook and Instagram stories, but I feel like I should probably start posting it to TikTok on its own account. Do you feel like TikTok now is the best way to promote stuff? Like, is this become the new spot?
It definitely is, but it is a hard
Hmm.
industry to break into. If you don't know, which I don't know, the algorithms on when to post and
Hmm.
what sounds to use and what hashtags to use, it is like the Pacific Ocean. Occasionally you'll get like someone will bite, but you really gotta you gotta keep on posting to get the views, but it's fun. That's why I like doing it.
Yeah. It's do you feel like TikTok's yet at the point where it's like fully saturated? Like everybody's going to it now, everybody's posting it, or do you think that like the peak has yet to come?
Um, I think it's saturated, but there's so many genres on TikTok that
Yeah.
I mean, you like what you like. So if you like dancing women, that's what you're gonna see. That's saturated.
Yeah.
If you like gaming's probably not that saturated.
Yeah.
Podcasts, you probably should start posting now.
Yeah, yeah, I think that was the time. Well, it's funny. It's like I think that a lot of people feel like they missed the wave on stuff, and the wave hasn't even come. I mean, there was talks. I mean, YouTube came out in what 2006, something like that. There's
Yeah,
people in like 2010 who were like, "This is the peak of YouTube,"
yeah,
right? And all the people who were like, "It's too late to start making a channel now," and that was 12 years ago, right? And now YouTube's bigger than it ever was been. So it's like that old analogy is like the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago, but the second best time is today. Um,
yeah. I mean,
so
with YouTube, I at the end of last year, started posting daily on YouTube, but then
mhm,
I was like, what's the better one to post on,
yeah,
TikTok or YouTube? TikTok's clearly popular as hell,
yeah,
so that's what I chose, and here
yeah,
we are.
yeah. I think I'm gonna start doing TikTok. There's, each social media that comes out, like, like Vine came out and died, and TikTok's now like the big one that's kind of like filled that gap. Each one of them's unique. And I think TikTok's most like aggressive thing is the algorithm. I mean, you
Yeah.
could like I at first everybody downloads it as a joke, and then the algorithm sucks you
Oh
in,
yeah,
and you're
100%.
dude, it's 2 hours, two
I
hours just
mean,
sitting
even in
there.
our friend group, me and I don't know if the people know him yet, but Greg Molina,
Yeah, yeah,
we downloaded it as a joke,
yeah,
making fun of lip syncing videos.
yeah. What is
And
Musically?
now
Yeah,
Yeah, and now I post every day and I check my views every day.
It's wrapped its claws around you.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's probably the best way to promote this sort of content now because YouTube has definitely turned into the long form of everything. Like
Yeah.
YouTube, and obviously I'm putting these on YouTube, but for the video
Yeah.
portion, it's an incredible amount of work. This is why people hire editors, right? So I think that TikTok, you would agree, is now the easiest way to post fast content, whether it's like 10, 15, 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, just posting clips. I mean, growing up, I was always a long form content
Yeah,
fiend. Like I would sit there and watch hour and a half long videos, which is weird because I stream now for
yeah,
hours and hours.
yeah,
But what I like to watch now is like 1 minute videos, 3 minute
yeah.
videos.
Yeah, I think that people's attention spans maybe are changing a little bit to shorter content. There's still a ton of stuff that I like. There's plenty of YouTube channels that post an hour long
Oh
video, and
yeah, yeah.
I'll watch it straight out.
Yeah.
Um, but it's really tough. YouTube is often a lot of work for not a lot of return, and I think that's why a lot of people are turning to TikTok. Is if the algorithm picks you up, it'll pretty much just push you there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
have
you
to keep
get
feeding it.
one, well, you pop with one viral video and you keep it up and I mean, you're gonna have a base.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
about keeping up the work.
Yeah, it's about feeding the machine. A lot of
Hmm.
TikTokers also have openly like complained about it. Is like you need to pretty much feed the algorithm daily,
Yeah.
which if your job is TikToking, it's a lot of work to do. To feed it multiple times a day can often turn into a full-time job. And it sounds like a joke because like TikTok's the
Yeah.
newest thing, so it sounds like a joke, but it's a lot of work to feed that machine daily.
Which is so weird because there's like Tik TikTokers that are
Yeah,
getting paid
yeah,
more than you could imagine to post
yeah.
30-second videos.
Yeah, it's always been a weird environment. The internet always has been, but it's taken a new turn. But not to discuss things that have already been discussed. Obviously, I think a lot of people have talked TikTok and stuff like that into the ground. But I think it's worth mentioning that it's probably the new frontier, and whether it ever beats YouTube or whatever, obviously YouTube's backed by a far bigger company. I think it's like the reality for most people that it's no longer a joke app and it's now the serious way to promote even like businesses.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Streaming. So you're talking about streaming. You started streaming when?
Um, when I started streaming,
Yeah.
pretty sure I have a stream from like 5 years ago.
Okay.
But when I started streaming and it was actually something I wanted to keep doing,
Yeah.
the start of the pandemic, I was like, what am I gonna do with all this
Yeah.
free time? So I just started streaming,
Yeah.
and it wasn't as consistent in 2020, the beginning of 2020,
Yeah.
but the beginning of 2021 was when I was like, well, let's just dive in and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Do you think that it's intimidating to get into streaming or because there's a ton of streamers and it's like almost, as you said, like Pacific Ocean. Was it like intimidating or is it just like loose, like let's just jump into this?
It's all about your mindset. I mean, it's a grind to even
Yeah,
turn on the stream and
yeah,
record yourself basically talking to no one,
yeah,
but it's fun and it's the
yeah,
way you look at it. Like I could play a game and there would be no one in chat, but
yeah,
I'm getting content for TikTok. So,
yeah,
or I could be playing a game and there could be one person in chat and we just have a friendly conversation,
yeah,
or, two, three, four, whatever.
yeah,
But it's just in the beginning, it's definitely intimidating.
yeah.
But I mean, start up a stream, sit there for a little bit, record some gameplay. It's just fun now.
Mm. Do you feel like when you're streaming that you play games differently than you do when
Yeah,
you're off
a
stream?
100%.
Yeah,
I mean, especially with Apex, like if I'm streaming and I'm in like a battle royale, which I
yeah,
really don't play, but I usually play arenas because it's easier. But if I'm in a BR game and I'm like even playing a ranked game and I have like random teammates just like yelling at me, it's not really fun to like get yelled at for being
Yeah.
bad and people watching. But
Yeah.
then you look at it and it's like, well, you're entertaining someone somehow. So
Speaking of which, we do have a $5 game that we need you to stream.
what is
Devour.
it?
That's on Devour. It's on
Devour?
Steam. Yeah. Um, I was playing it the other night, and genuinely, we were too afraid to continue. Um, and the first thing we said was like, Justin needs to get this on stream. So we
Oh
stopped.
yeah.
We literally stopped playing so you could like hop onto it. Um, but with that being said, I think it's funny. It's like it is performing in front of an audience at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Which is just so weird because you're really just sitting at your computer playing games.
Yeah, right
But
where
when
you
you
are right now.
play, yeah, like when you play with like friends, it's different because when you play with friends, you're not really paying attention to the stream. I mean, you're looking to see people are talking to you or whatever, but you're more focused on like playing with your friends. But then when you're playing alone, that's when it gets a little weird.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really cool how a lot of streamers have um, basically turned it into like a full interactive, with like the chat stuff and sending donations and stuff like that. I mean, this is people's daily living, and all they do is advertise their stream, and then they'll be like, "Okay, I'm streaming tomorrow at like 10 a.m. to like 7 p.m." I'm like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I have some long day, full day streams.
Yeah,
It's weird. Like I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing a video game,
yeah,
trying to get people to watch. And I mean, not gonna sugarcoat it. You're trying to make money at
yeah,
some point. So
yeah,
you're sitting there for like 12 hours a day. You're looking at your views all day,
yeah,
and then you stop and you're like, what the hell did I do with my day?
yeah,
But then, I mean, you see like your analytics and it pays off, but you try not to look at that stuff because that's when you get like, well, what am I doing?
yeah. I think like it being like I'm playing video games all day is a bad connotation that people have
Hmm.
made for streaming. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and this might be totally silly, but look, like I work from home, right? I work on a computer all day long. From the time I log on to the time I log off, oftentimes there's days where I get up only once or twice a day because we're that busy at work.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is sitting down and clicking things. Obviously, I have to do, calculations and
Yeah.
a lot of stuff for my job, and like oftentimes it's really mentally draining. But I quite frankly don't see much of a difference in like the amount of labor that you're doing. If you're sitting there for 12 hours, you're not just playing games, right? If you have viewers, you're being an entertainer,
Yeah.
right? To keep people there for 8, 10, 12 hours straight. And people don't consider it that way. And for somebody who works from home, I don't see the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
No, I mean, that's what like that's brings back to like it's all about mindset. Like when you start, that's how you think. And then like you're thinking like what am I doing with my day playing video games? But when you've been doing and I haven't been doing it for that long of a time, but a year is a long time. So like I mean, on Saturdays I don't have work. Yes, I still have a full-time job. um I don't have work. I'll sit down and stream all day. And it's like, well, that's my weekend. That's how I have fun.
Yeah,
That's how you unwind.
yeah. It's good that you think of it as unwinding now and less of, because less of like a grind, because as soon as it becomes more fun and just playing video games, it starts to not feel like work anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, even like, so like, I'm a Twitch affiliate, so I do receive revenue from Twitch. And the first check you get from Twitch is pretty like shocking.
Hmm.
Because I mean, again, you're getting paid to play video games,
Yeah,
but you're getting paid to entertain.
yeah,
So like the first check you get is like, wow, like okay, so we're getting somewhere.
yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well it's paying off.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine. The wheels are in motion at that point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think that it's tough to be a streamer. I watch, I'll try to tune into streams when I can. I've never watched streams really that much, because I like a lot of like pre-recorded content. I don't even watch Let's Plays on YouTube. I like more like video game themed content.
Yeah,
But I think that this is where everything's going. Everything's going to streaming. Like MLG is on television, like cable television,
ESPN, yeah.
on ESPN.
And then even vice versa, the NFL's on Twitch,
The NFL's on Twitch.
MLB's on Twitch,
Yeah,
NBA on YouTube. I don't know if it's on Twitch, but
yeah,
it's like everything's the more things change, the more things become the same.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you have the same conversation with like streaming and cable. I mean, this is all the same stuff. It's just how you watch it. But gaming is here. It is the next thing because 15 years ago nobody go like gaming's on TV. They're putting like PewDiePie like live streams on TV. Like
Yeah,
this is unprecedented,
like and like
stuff.
Twitch streamers are appearing in TV shows.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't name one. I know there's a Netflix show where like
yeah.
they're all in it, but they're like streamers are on TV, on commercials, and people know who they are.
Hmm.
Like you see Nick Merckx on TV because he streams himself watching the NFL. It's a
Hmm.
partnership. It's crazy. Like
Hmm.
I don't understand that part. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, like even like the Manning cast that they do for
Yeah,
football, that's a stream. That's
yeah,
all that is. Is like
I know.
it's two former football players watching football and commentating it. It's funny. I mean, think about like tell me this is like YouTube celebrities or YouTube celebrity. Like people laugh at that term. They're now mainstream celebrities. People who have
Yeah,
transitioned into getting movie roles and TV roles. Is that like that's the same thing that's happening with Twitch? I mean, like Ninja is a huge one, right?
yeah.
Like
I
that.
mean, I don't know. You may have heard his name, Tim the Tap Man,
Mm-hmm.
Tim,
Yeah,
whatever
of
his name
course.
is. He went from Twitch, just regular streamer on Twitch, and then he leaves Twitch and he signs with YouTube exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing Ninja did, leaving Twitch, going to Mixer, and then you know how Mixer
Yeah.
happened. But I mean, it's just so crazy how there's like now streaming contracts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stuff's like changing, and I think it's for the better because it makes everything one like more accessible and more watchable, and it legitimizes people who have jobs that people thought were jokes 10 years
Yeah,
ago. Like being a YouTuber is now like considered a real job. Even though you don't meet people too often in real life who are YouTubers or whatever, it's considered a real job. I mean, this is full-time work, and everybody who kind of makes fun of it is like just making videos. Go ahead and try to do it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's a lot of work. So I think streaming's that next thing, and paired with that TikTok, posting on TikTok is the next thing. So we'll kind of go into like the last portion of the social media stuff, which I ask most of the guests. Obviously, this is episode 2, but I have some in the backlog and more scheduled. But I like to ask is, do you feel like having an online presence can be a scary thing? Do you feel like that's a scary thing, and do you feel like you have to be a different person online than you are in real life?
um, different. I'll answer the second part first. I think at first I did, but now, I mean, keep your personal life personal, but you're still the same person. So, I mean, I stream from my bedroom. Like I try not to hide much, but online there is stuff you have to hide from, creeps. So at first it's like, yeah, like I mean, on stream I'm Big J. In real life I'm Justin, but we're the same person. So right, like now we're all good. Me and Big J are we're tight. But in the beginning, yeah, they were like I was making like different accounts for streaming, but now it's all the same thing. Now, the first part of the question, it was is it daunting to get?
Yeah, is it daunting to have an online personality, but you almost feel like you have to support somebody else who isn't you, right?
Yeah, 100% it is, and that's just part of the diving in and seeing what happens. I mean, you can't really be scared in the internet era. It's like you just got to go for it.
Yeah.
But once you do it, it gets easier. Like being on TikTok and like knowing people that I went to high school with. It's weird,
Hmm.
but if they like the content, maybe they'll still be friends with you.
Yeah.
Or they can separate themselves from it. And, I separate my streams from work, even though people from work know that I stream.
Hmm.
You don't have to mix both, but it's still your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And very much so is you are your own brand, even though you might use a stream name, you are the entire, brand behind the stream.
Yeah,
I mean, some people like you've watched Dr. Disrespect, I'm
yeah,
assuming once before. It's like obviously he
yeah.
does a character and
That's
he's
a whole different
yeah.
just brainwave.
Yeah, the whole he does a character, for anybody who doesn't
Yeah,
know, it's very popular. He does a character, wears a wig,
yeah. And then like on Twitter, he's Dr. Disrespect.
mhm,
On Instagram, he's Dr. Disrespect. On TikTok, he's Dr. Disrespect. But then there's people like Nick Merckx. Nick Merckx is Nick Merckx
mhm,
everywhere he goes.
mhm,
And that's like more of the people that you'll see online.
yeah. Do you think that there's going to come a time where all of this stuff is going to be like totally monetized, like ads everywhere on obviously ads are already a part of Twitch and stuff like that, but do you feel like this is going to come to the point where there's like partnership between like mainstream brands and like household brands and streamers? Like do you feel like that's coming?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's already there.
Yeah.
Like you're not. I mean, a streamer can run an ad if they're. I think you got to be partnered to run ads like that.
Hmm.
But it's not like a here's what's sponsoring me, here's the ad I'm gonna run.
Hmm.
Like on Twitch, it's like these people are sponsoring me. Let's put an overlay of what it is, da da da. If it's a game, you play the game, but you have to say it's an ad. Um, but it's not like YouTube where like someone posts a video about a product and the ads that run on the mid-roll are the product.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to get there, and I don't know how Twitch or even other stream sites are going to deal with it, but I think that there's going to be an uproar when it happens because the whole idea behind Twitch is like you do what you do. There's no funny business, and if you get paid, you get paid.
Yeah. Yeah. Black and white. um I think that the only thing that I'll add to that part is I worry that Twitch and that streaming in general will get stuck in what I like to call like the podcast advertising circle. Because they
Yeah,
have what's the thing that a lot of streamers push is one, the drink. What's the drink?
G Fuel,
G Fuel, and then
that
there's like
gamer
a
fuel, brother.
game you gotta fuel up. Isn't it like soda? I'm not exactly sure what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of going to GNC and buying an energy drink
Yeah.
for the
The
gym.
yeah, for the gym.
I mean,
You
I
ever
think
had
at
like the ghost
first,
stuff?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I used to use that.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where you fall into, like, oh, you're a good brand, we're gonna buy it.
Hmm.
I think G Fuel started with like a lemonade that was supposed to give you energy, and now they have all these wacky, uh, just names. I think one's like Peach Rings or Blueberry Kid. I don't drink it, but I see the ads all the time.
Yeah. What's
That being said, G Fuel, if you want to sponsor me, I'll start
yeah.
drinking it.
I've never tasted. I do want to taste it. What's that? The Cloud9 or something? What's that other thing that streamers
Cloud
push?
Nine. I
It's
think
like
Cloud Nine's an ML professional gaming
it
team.
could, yeah. There's like something cloud. There's another thing, but my main point is here is like I listen to a lot of podcasts, and it's like how many times we're gonna listen to the same
Manscaped, Zip
Manscaped,
Recruiter.
Dollar Shave Club. Ugh. all that
It's
junk.
I know what you're saying. It's to the point where you can memorize the ad.
Hmm. And the thing that's irritating about that is it doesn't matter who I'm listening to. I mean, I listen to a lot, like a wide spectrum.
Yeah.
Just like I do music, I listen to a wide spectrum of podcasts. Like whether I listen to like Rogan, I've been listening to Rogan for a long time, or like the Office ladies or people from the Office, or just like all these random podcasts that I listen to. It's the same ads, and they're not dumb. It's because we're all the same demographic. I mean, it's like young adults, like
Yeah.
guys and girls in their teens, 20s and 30s. I like I feel like that's what's holding podcasts back. I know podcasts are
Yeah.
a much older medium, but it's like for Twitch, I feel like they're falling into the same hole, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, even like when Twitch was like when what fuck when optic gaming was at peak popularity, the thing was scuff controllers. And now Twitch is like I don't even think Twitch is at its peak, but it's getting there and G Fuel is everywhere. It's the same thing as every comedian having a Manscaped sponsor because everyone listening to them is a 20 to 35-year-old male, some females, but then they have the, oh, ladies, your man will love it. It's like that is the big fear. And I think that's what a lot of people on Twitch are going to start arguing about in a couple years, maybe even sooner.
Yeah, like are we gonna get like a Ford or like a Coca-Cola ad on
Yeah.
a Twitch stream or whatever? Because that's yet to come to podcast. It'll be like only once in a while will I be listening to a podcast and it'll be a brand where I'm like, oh, I've seen that in the store. It's
Yeah.
all this stuff is focused on our demographic. So I want them to bridge that gap eventually. I don't even like listening to ads, but if it's going to become mainstream, then I think the ads are going to also have to become mainstream.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
thing that's scary with Twitch is that it is owned by Amazon.
Hmm.
And we all know Amazon. They aren't they'll get you your stuff in a day, but they got some history.
Hmm. Certainly.
So it's like that's what I've been hearing for a while. Is like I don't know, Amazon and Twitch.
Yeah. Do they hold them back or so? I mean, Mixer was Microsoft, right?
Yeah, because it was the whole
On
Xbox thing.
Xbox,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny how we like know that going into it's like
Yeah.
okay, like YouTube had its own problems. So we're like, okay, well, YouTube when it ever got bought out by Google, that's when they started having all these monetization problems where people were just losing their entire jobs because YouTube would automatically demonetize all their
Yeah.
video for no reason. So
Yeah.
that's the next fear, I think, for streamers.
Yeah. And like I think the whole point coming off of the tangent is that streaming should never be all about money. Like yes, people get paid to stream, but you're really there to have fun, talk to chat, gain some, gain popularity, gain friends. That's what it's all about. Friends in a virtual space. And then you might get some money on top.
It's a good way to put it, and I'm happy you're having fun with it. I think that we've talked Twitch to death and streaming to death. So what
Yeah.
I usually do, what I did for the last conversation and everyone, happening after this one, is talk about some actual stuff that the real life person
Oh,
is interested in.
stuff
Um,
happens in the real life?
stuff happens in the real. I sometimes forget that reality exists outside of these four walls. Um, so my best way to put it is that Justin obviously used to host your own podcast a while back, the Barbershop or Barbershop Talk, excuse me,
Barbershop talk,
Barbershop Talk. If those are still archived,
RIP.
if you want to go listen to the old episodes, Justin, you and I did two episodes, which within the last 6 months I've re-listened to them both. We had good
Really?
conversations. Yeah, and I listened to some of the other barbershop talks. But on barbershop talk, Justin talked about music, whether that was music trends, current albums being released, ranking artists, that stuff. So in the efforts to try to do a little mini revival of barbershop talk, Justin, let's reopen the vault a little bit, huh? How about that?
Okay.
Um,
Scary.
so Justin, have you felt like you are still a rap and hip hop aficionado, even though you're busy with a full-time job and streaming?
Absolutely not. I have not listened to rap or hip hop since the beginning of 2021.
No kidding. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Get out
I
of here.
am a hip hop fiend, not hip hop, sorry. I am a rock heavy metal fiend now.
You have been converted into another genre.
I don't know
Unreal.
when it happened, but um obviously I still keep up, but I
Yeah.
only listen to things that are like really exciting that are coming out.
Yeah.
But like I like a switch was switched in my brain and it was like I need to branch out.
Yeah.
And I listen to Swayco,
Mm-hmm.
this TikTok artist, great artist. I don't know. I listen to that genre. I mean, I couldn't tell you the last hip hop song I listened to.
No kidding. Wow. For those of you who are of my entire audience and not the two people talking on Zoom, Justin used to know every single album coming out, who was coming out next month, people who are like up on the rise, people who are declining, ranking albums with hip hop. So this is a serious turn of events.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
my Spotify Wrapped, there was like the Drake album was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Lil Wayne was on it because
Mm-hmm.
that's who I like. My top three were Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Drake when I was a hip hop head. So
Mm-hmm.
those obviously still get listened to,
Yeah.
but I could not tell you the
Well,
next
they'll
album
never
that's
die.
coming out.
No
Yeah,
matter what genres I'm listening to, there will always in the Spotify rap there will always be some sort of Lil Wayne, any Young Money, any of that will
yeah.
always live in my
I
Spotify
mean,
rap.
Pierce the Veil was number one on my
Pierce the Veil is your
Spotify
number
Wrapped.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Justin Pierce the Veil listener.
And
I
it
I
it
I
does
could
have
guess.
it does have something to do with the lady because
Yeah,
she
sure.
opened my ears to different
Your
music.
third eye,
Yeah, but then it just stayed open.
right?
I will never listen to country
All right.
though.
So last time, or maybe the first time I was and I'm going off your point. The maybe the last time or the first time that I was on your show, um, we were about to get into a debate, and your thing was that you were bringing me on to debate me about Kanye,
Yeah,
and about his newest album, which was at the time, Yay. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
was Ye at the time, and debating like had he fallen off or and then now beyond then he's released what he's released Jesus is King. He released Donda. He's had even more releases since then.
Which I did listen to. I
Yeah,
did listen to Donda.
did you like Donda?
I liked some songs from Donda.
I feel like so. I feel like Donda has enough good tracks on it to be a good album, but it has there's too many songs that could be trimmed and it would be still the same album.
I didn't mind Donda. Um, how long ago was that Kanye discussion?
That was
Years.
three. When that was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
I mean,
maybe 2018, 2019.
my opinion's definitely changed.
On Kanye.
I still think he's declining, but Donda was a decent enough album to call it a good album.
Yeah, and met your album requirement. Justin has a what was it, a 45
Yeah,
minute?
it's 45 minutes of I think it's 45 minutes of solid songs or an hour or something and like I think it's 75% of the songs are good.
Okay.
And I think Donda met that.
Yeah, I think Donda met that. I think it's like it's TikTok clips with like I want to go to the moon and Donda chant
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Jail, all those like little TikTok audio bites. I think were the number one reason that not the number one reason, but a huge contributing factor to that album actually having commercial success.
which
Um,
is smart because even though Kanye is out of his mind,
mhm.
still a very smart man, and he had to know that TikTok was gonna eat most of those songs.
Yeah, totally ate the sound bits and like someone's going to jail tonight was like the perfect
Yeah, yeah.
sound bite for a long time. And then I think the song is really good, so it was a good little leeway. My tangent was about getting into new genres. And speaking of country, so I grew up listening to a lot of country. My
Hmm.
mom is from the Midwest and kind of grew up listening to old country from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. So that's what was in the car a lot of
Yeah,
times. Like, and I think that you can agree, disagree, but that oftentimes drives your musical
yeah.
taste a lot.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Um,
is why I was a hip hop head for so
yeah.
long.
Yeah. Is that
That
what you listened
was
to growing
my
up?
Yeah, that was my background. Like in the car, my dad would play hip hop. Um, Classic parents. My
Yeah.
dad would play the hip hop. My mom would not love the hip hop.
Still does not.
No,
Still
she
does not.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what you grow up on, and then you get older, and your opinions change.
Yeah. Um, there's stuff that I can't believe I listened to, like even when I was in high school, and I go back and listen, I'm like, oh, this is terrible. What was
Yeah,
I doing?
that's what I'm going through now.
Yeah. Um, I feel like Spotify has been the best thing for music. I know that and I don't mean that from the artist side because I know there's a lot of complaints
Yeah.
about how artists struggle to make money, and I
I mean,
totally go ahead,
one
no,
thing
go ahead.
I do, sorry, one thing I do still look at is how much the stream cost. And what that means is how many listens do you need to get to make $1? And it's absurd. I think Spotify is one of the worst ones. It's like I don't have it in front of me, but it's like point one listen is 0.00008 cents.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Hmm.
And but anyway, for the
Yeah.
consumer, it's great.
Oh, for the consumer, it's fantastic. You know what's funny is that Spotify isn't profitable.
Yeah,
At the top of the entire thing, Spotify is not a profitable company because the music licensing costs them so much for them to be able to stream the music that the bottom line is that they can't pay. You know, it's not a sob story for Spotify because it's like such a huge company, but the bottom line is
yeah,
like if they were to even pay a cent per stream, it would
yeah,
last. The company would shut down tomorrow. It doesn't make sense. So uh, the issue is it only gets worse, right? Because the more
yeah,
music you have to keep licensing and all the music you had to keep on license
yeah,
beforehand, it's a formula that I think at some point it's either going to get way more expensive because it's what $10 a month, and
yeah.
I
five
can listen
dollars
to
for
every song
students. Yeah,
other ever.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, what is Jay-Z's that he sold? Starts with a
Title.
T. Title. That one was the most profitable for artists
Hmm.
on the list that I saw. But Jay-Z had to sell it to even keep it going. So
Yeah. Uh,
it is crazy how streaming music is such a terrible landscape.
Oh, it's awful, and but I'm telling everybody now is that there's gonna be a breaking point because remember they have to pay for all of the songs that are already on there, and then they have to keep paying for their songs released every second of every day.
Yeah,
Um, and you have to pay for all the licensing, so either it blows up and we go back to listen to buying songs for 99 cents a piece, or and even then, even at 99 cents a piece per device, artists weren't making that much money from iTunes. Think about
yeah,
that. At
yeah.
buying every song for $1 wasn't making
Because
them that much
it was
money.
the Apple tax, right?
Yeah,
It's like they get most of I mean, it's just like everything, even with
yeah,
streaming. Like, how does TikTok make money
yeah,
from subs?
yeah. It was a weird time for music and it's weirder now. It's only gotten better for the consumer, but as I'll say, it'll be a blow up. Either Spotify will blow up and can't afford to run itself and they'll have to sell everything off and we'll go back to doing something more primitive or it gets way more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, On Spotify, I don't know because I don't make music, but I believe you have to pay to get to get your
Hmm.
music on. I could be wrong, but I think you do have to pay some sort of fee to get your music on Spotify.
Yeah. So on top of all of that, you might even just lose money from
Yeah,
being on Spotify. I think a lot of musical artists now have said that merch makes them more money than anything
yeah,
else.
I have seen that.
So they have to sell their live shows and they have to sell their merch, and Spotify is just a way to promote the music.
Yeah,
It's not a way to make it, because that's why bands now tour back to back to back, because that's where the money comes from, is from the tours and then selling the merch at the tours.
yeah,
So it's a weird time, but for now we should enjoy it as consumers. We should enjoy it.
yeah. I mean, why not? Like
Yeah, if it's
everyone
there.
does it. Everyone
Everyone,
knows that.
well, if everyone else is doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, why not? If your friend would jump off a bridge, you would go
Yeah,
too.
you would go to. So Spotify, the reason I bring it up is because I think it's, if you're looking to get into different genres of music or explore, there is simply no better way.
Yeah,
Like the playlist and the radios that I've been able to like dig into on Spotify are the most insane, like 5 layers deep of
yeah.
music that I've ever gotten into.
It's crazy. I mean, I sit at work, and if I'm not listening to a podcast, I listen to like a radio station or a playlist, and you zone out, and you're like, how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did I go to this random artist that is actually pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
And then you click on their page, and their top 5 songs are like 2,000
Yeah.
listens.
Yeah.
It's insane.
The real goal to me is finding a song that you like that doesn't even have
Yeah,
their
yeah,
listens
yeah.
registered.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, it's a fun part. Because the function, like if you click on an artist and like in it down below it says, people who listen to
Yeah,
this also listen to, and you keep clicking through
yeah,
those, you will
yeah,
eventually get to
yeah,
like the bottom of the rabbit hole of stuff. I mean, I've filled up my playlist with stuff like that, with all of these just random, never heard of bands that were around in like the 80s for like 2 months and put
yeah,
out music. I mean, it's amazing. Um, I'm still big into collecting records. I know that you have some records too. I'm not sure how many. Records now are outselling CDs for the first time since the 1980s.
yeah. And if you didn't keep your records from the 1980s, you should have luck because
Yep,
those records cost $200 or more now.
absolutely they do. And I still buy them
Yep.
because I think they're cool.
I mean, even like the 90s, obviously like 200 is for the ones you can't find. But I
Yeah,
mean, records are like 35 to $50.
yeah,
And you're gonna buy it because one, it looks cool.
yeah,
Two, it sounds really good. And three, who has a CD player?
yeah. I
Everyone
mean,
has a record player now.
I mean, like, I totally forgot. Like, my first car had a CD player, but then when I bought my next car, I'm like, I don't have a CD player anymore. Like, I,
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
forgot about that. Um, yeah, I think that vinyl collecting is like went from something to be like super hipster, like 10 years ago, super hipster, and
yeah.
now it's huge. I've
I
got
mean,
like 200 plus at this point.
yeah, I have. I think last year was a slow year, but I still bought like 50 to 100 records.
Nearly that many.
Yeah, I mean, I don't display them all. I display the ones that like the album looks cool.
Hmm.
But I mean, some of them are at the lady's house because I technically own 2 record players now because I bought her one for Christmas. So
Hmm. Yeah. It sucks you in. It's really
yeah.
bad once you're into record collecting.
And even she goes out to like Target or something, and
Hmm.
they don't have the biggest record collection, but for the music she listens to, there's T Swift, there's
Yeah.
Billie Eilish. And she's like, I'm gonna buy this for
Yeah.
$30.
I don't want to. Yeah. Before I go to that point, that's hilarious because when I tried explaining it to people, it's like, why would you buy it when you can listen to it on Spotify? Is that's not why you're not buying it really to listen to it,
Yeah,
right? Is you're buying it to have it in a physical copy and for the art, for the sleeve.
yeah.
Yeah.
The sleeve, the vinyl sometimes has a
Yeah, cool
special
design.
edition.
Yeah.
Like she bought the Billie Eilish, the yellow and red cover. I don't listen to Billie Eilish,
Mm-hmm.
but the record is half yellow, half red.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like William Eyelash, you're gonna buy that
You
record.
could buy the record. Yeah, for me, my rule is I'll never buy something that just got released unless I'm super into it,
Yeah,
because generally if you give it like a year, the
yeah,
price will
it'll
drop.
drop.
I,
And actually, I need to say now because it's a point that I was gonna make earlier. For Christmas, I was gonna buy the lady a record of a very, I think it was Pierce the Veil or Sleeping with Sirens, but she likes it a lot. It's older,
yeah.
can't it's not they don't make it anymore. I don't remember what album it was, but
Okay.
I
One
looked
of
on
theirs. Yeah.
eBay, $150 or more,
Wild.
and it was like that for a lot that I saw on
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't do it.
eventually I mean, for Christmas, my favorite song of all time, the album that came on. So, that that's an $100 record that I got for Christmas, and
Hmm.
it goes back to my rule on buying records is I'll buy it if it's something that I want to have a
Yeah,
physical copy of.
yeah,
So my favorite song of all time, and has been for years, and whether it'll ever change, I'm not sure. Maybe one day when I'm older, but is a song called Decepticon by Le Tigre, who are a band from California from the
hmm,
90s and early 2000s. They have their first album on vinyl, but like it's not sold at Newbury or anything like that. So I got it for Christmas, from a buyer on eBay, and it was 100 and something dollars, like shipped
yeah,
from the UK. And it's like, this is, I can listen to it on Spotify anytime
yeah.
I
But you
want,
need it because
but
you
I
need it
I want
physically.
the physical copy.
And it
Uh,
came to a discussion too. It was like after Christmas, I was like, I was gonna get you this one. If you
mhm.
really want it, I will buy it.
Yeah,
She was like, it can wait. It can wait.
yeah. It's like almost sickening how much like you want vinyls that you're like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna look at this and play it every once in a while because I love playing I don't
yeah,
buy records that I'm not gonna play. I always will play them or have them on the
yeah.
background. But again, you're not buying it to hear the songs that are on it.
No, you just need to look at
You
it.
need to look at it. Well, when I first started collecting vinyl, when I was in high school, I had an entire wall, not this house, but my mom's house. I had an entire wall that I had my vinyls posted on, wall to wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and when I like move to my next place, I'm gonna do that again. Like just all of my favorite ones. Obviously, I take the
yeah,
actual records out and I put them in their like a
yeah,
special
yeah,
sleeve, and then the covers themselves, I just put wall to wall. It looks really cool. So I'm gonna do that
yeah.
again.
I've
Um,
definitely thought about that too when I get out of this half gym, half streaming, half
the stream
quarter
cave.
bed, whatever it is, there's going to be a room dedicated to like my favorite things. And I've
Yeah,
definitely thought about putting my records on the wall.
yeah. It's gonna do the same thing. Records on the wall. I got a really nice record player for Christmas. So nice speakers, nice record
Hmm.
cabinet holder, record wall. I'm gonna do all that. But before we get too off topic, what for music? What is now in your recently played? Because that's what you used to do on Barbershop Talk. Was like, what was
Yeah.
what was your recently play?
Well, I'll tell you, I kept it away for the podcast, but you asked, so I'm going to go to Spotify. You're not going to expect any of it. Up top is my Rock Dude Yeah playlist.
I know that playlist. I'm familiar with
Yeah,
that playlist. Yeah.
features, it's all genres of rock from like the 80s to the punk era.
Yeah. I've sent you some of the songs that you put on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have a band that I recently found that I want to go to the concert for that's coming up. It's a band called Capstan.
Okay.
Um,
Like the ship piece capstan?
yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough.
Um, they're very good, and I've
Hmm.
watched their live videos. They're a really good band, and I mean, they're not really that known. Their newest album, it's their fifth, like whatever that is, fifth song. It's only got 400,000 listens, and that's what I like finding.
Yeah.
And then we got the band La Dispute, another
Hmm.
rock band.
No, that one.
More Capstan. Then we got some podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Zero rap.
Zero rap in your reasons.
Yeah, my recents are Capstan and Law Dispute.
All right, let me do the same. Did you go to your repeat thing?
Yeah,
We've got Le Tigre, we've got some Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and then we got a lot of Lil Wayne on here. We've got Red Nation by The Game of Lil Wayne, President Carter,
hmm
Jail by Kanye West, For the Gang by 42 Doug and Roddy Rich. And then Seeing Green is my most played, by Nicki Minaj with Drake and Lil Wayne. I love
yeah,
that song. As far as hip hop
yeah,
and stuff goes, that's been like one of the best releases as far as a single song goes in a long time.
yeah.
Um, Warren G, Yo Gotti, Poppy, Dean Martin, Nickelback, Oliver Tree, Tiny Meat Gang, Kanye West. Yeah, I try to vary it up a lot. I actually got into
Yeah,
metal and hard rock as well in 2020, so there's a lot of that on my playlist as well.
yeah. It was mainly, I mean, metal and all that stuff was mainly from the gym.
Hmm.
It's like, I mean, I needed something else other than rap because that's all I listened to. So then I listened to metal in the gym, and then I was kind of like, okay, well, this is pretty good. And then the lady got me onto the other stuff, and that's really how this change happened. But I mean, we're only in January, so I mean, there's gonna be rap in there sometime this year.
Yeah, at some point. At some point.
Yeah,
Um, I often go on like weird like tantric nights of like music exploration. Like I'll just
yeah,
get like 70 layers deep of music and just like
yeah,
keep going deeper and deeper and discover new genres and just like, you know, adding those to playlists and whatnot. And that's
yeah,
how I build my playlist is just like searching up random music or making a radio based off something I already
yeah,
listened to and then searching that artist and stuff like that. And I think the conclusion to this conversation is if you want to get into new music, now is the time to do it.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, and just one more point. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is just watch like live shows of
mhm.
bands. I mean, when I stream, I usually have a live show of a band on in the background. Twitch don't sue me for it, but when I post my clips, they're not in. Don't worry.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to find new bands and stuff.
yeah. I think everybody should be trying to listen to new music,
Yeah,
because like if you still listen to like Spotify or Billboard top 10 and like FM radio or even XM radio to a degree, you're missing out on a lot.
yeah,
And that's not to be like the hipster take of like I only listen because I like a lot of mainstream stuff. I like Billie Eilish and I like new Taylor Swift and Adele and The Weeknd and stuff like that. It's all awesome, but use your spare time to don't listen to those tracks on repeat. Listen to new stuff.
yeah.
Um, so I think that was a really nice conversation on music and maybe a little mini revival just for now of barbershop talk.
Sorry, the lady FaceTimed me. I just have to tell her.
No problem. I'm be editing this episode anyway, so
All
you're
right.
good. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really cut too much out. It's mostly supposed to be unedited, but there's times where I splice stuff together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't mean, but she FaceTimed me, so I had to tell her. But
um,
we are back.
with all of that being said, Justin, tell us lastly where you want to be in another year.
Well, I feel like it's only right before I do that to dust this off real quick. The barber shop is closed. um, but where do I want to be in another year? Um, Personally, I want to be in my own space,
Mm-hmm.
out of this half gym, blah blah blah. But professionally, I love my job. I'm a graphic designer also, and I stream for fun. I want to build my Twitch, build my TikTok. Um, I just want to have some internet friends watching me play games. I'll play games with them. I don't care. I'm a variety streamer. But yeah, I just want to keep having fun, keep building this brand, and see where it goes.
All right. So 2022 is coming up all Justin.
Yes, I'll
So
Big J on Twitch.
Big J on Twitch. While we have you here, Big J on Twitch, and where else should the people follow you?
So gotta dust this off too. My Twitch is actually JD6498, but my brand is Big J. So twitch.tv/JD6498, Twitter DeJesus6498, Instagram JDeJesus5, TikTok, I believe it's TTV-JD6498, or you can probably find it with Big J Gaming.
Perfect. Those will all be in the description of wherever you're watching or listening to this on. Before we go, in our next episode, we have a very special guest. It's already been recorded and currently in the editing bay. For those of you card lovers out there, including myself, I have the one and only Mr. Ed Bullion. He is a former Cannonball record holder, of course, the drive from New York to LA straight. He once held the record. Additionally, he is the owner of VinWiki, a popular car YouTube channel of a bunch of car stories. And last but not least, the current host of Car Trek, a YouTube series about the adventures of the owners and their supercars. And on top of all that, Ed is former head of sales for Lamborghini of Atlanta. He knows a lot about everything.
Yeah.
If you're a car person, please tune into that one. We had a great conversation. I can't wait for everybody to see that one. For now, episode 2 is a wrap. Mr. Justin DeJesus, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking your time.
Thank you for having me. I would like to be the first repeat guest. I'm getting it in now.
Sounds good. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye, guys.